The Golden State Warriors have just won their fourth NBA final in 8 seasons, and it seems as if they have been on top of the basketball world for quite some time. It is just incredible seeing how the OG Big Three of the Warriors, meaning Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, are still capable of winning NBA championships even though they're all in their early to mid-30s. Now, it's obvious that the reason why the Warriors won was due to their incredible starting five plus a strong bench. But if there is one man we have to thank who should get more appreciation, is none other than Bob Myers. Today's video will be based on some of the moves and decisions Bob Myers made in order to win championships time after time. Now, we know the main moves that were made, like the KD signing. But what about the other moves that weren't looked at enough by fans? The moves that, looking back at them, were made for the best. How is everybody doing today? It's Sports Hello back with another video, and today I'm going to be going through some of the moves Bob Myers made that basically saved the Golden State Warriors. Let's not waste any time, and let's get straight into it. Starting off with the 2019 NBA Draft. The Golden State Warriors just came off winning the NBA Finals for the second consecutive year, and were looking extremely good with Steph, Klay, KD, and Draymond. Now, the Warriors had the 20th pick of the first round in that draft. Why don't we take a look at some mock drafts to see what people were expecting the Warriors would do? Starting off with Business Insider, who believed the Warriors would most likely draft a man by the name of Dylan Windler. Now, according to one of the writers of the mock draft, Sam Vecini, he explained, quote, "There was one skill the Warriors badly needed, shooting. Enter Windler, who would give the Warriors a high-level shooter with size on the wing who could really help them space the floor." Business Insider weren't the only one who believed the Warriors should draft Windler. Bleacher Report thought the exact same thing and added on about how he is an efficient scorer. For those who care or are curious, Windler would be drafted by the Cavaliers 2 picks earlier and is still playing for them, but only plays around 9 minutes per game. So the point is, nobody expected for the Warriors to select Poole. As a matter of fact, nobody even thought he would be selected in the first round. Bleacher Report had him being drafted 42nd overall by the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, when Myers drafted Poole, obviously he would explain himself. And I'm sure a lot of Warriors fans wanted to know why he selected such an average college player when he had better options. Well, when Myers was being interviewed by The Athletic, the thing that sealed the deal for him was Poole's work ethic. Myers said, quote, "I think what kept me as a fan was his work ethic. When you talk to college coaches and you see these intel reports, it's always last guy in the gym and first guy there. And great kid, one of the best I've ever coached." There's so much of that hyperbole around players that you really kind of gloss over. You don't know until you know. Myers will continue on by saying, "And I think with Jordan, he's the one. He does have a desire to work that's his own. I wish we could say we did that, but you've got to have that desire, and we found that he did." Looking back on this selection, we can all agree Myers made one of the better moves in the draft. Who knows how the Warriors would have done not just in the NBA Finals, but the playoffs and the regular season as a whole. Next up on the list was when the Warriors were very close to separating the Splash Brothers. Back in 2014, the Minnesota Timberwolves were trying to get rid of their star, Kevin Love. And I don't mean that Kevin Love you saw that played with LeBron. I mean the guy who averaged 26 points a game with 12 rebounds and 4 assists. The Warriors' starting power forward at the time was David Lee. Lee wasn't a bad power forward in any way, but he could have been better. So the Warriors decided that they were going to try and trade for Kevin Love. However, the Timberwolves wanted to get Klay Thompson in return, and this was at the very beginning of Thompson's incredible style of play. So Bob Myers was very close to accepting the trade, but there was one man who saved Myers from ruining the Warriors: Jerry West. At the time, Jerry West was the consultant of the Golden State Warriors, and he threatened to quit his job on the spot if Myers accepted that trade. So thank goodness that West said that, or else the Warriors would have never won the chip. I know Myers wasn't the hero here, but he could have easily not cared about West's threat and accepted it. I don't know, maybe I'm just making stuff up, but that's one way you can look at it. Next up on the list is all those underrated signings, trades, and draft picks Bob Myers made. When it comes to the draft, we already talked about Jordan Poole, but that wasn't the only selection Myers made that was underrated. Last season, the Warriors drafted Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga did show some promising parts of his game during the regular season and is only 19 years old. When Poole first played in Golden State, it took a bit of time before he started to ball out. Kuminga also had a PER of 15.2, meaning he was an average player throughout the season. But like I said, he still has plenty of time to improve, and I'm sure the Golden State Warriors know what to do. Now, as for trades, the most notable one was when the Warriors traded for Andrew Wiggins. Now, Wiggins wasn't really a bad player. He was an elite scorer, and I think we can all agree on that. The only problem was, nobody liked Wiggins because he was a huge disappointment. He was being compared to Kobe Bryant at the time and was supposed to be a strong all-around player. Instead, he lacked a lot of good defense and playmaking. So that is why fans believed trading for Andrew might have been a mistake. But look at him now, a starter in the All-Star game and now an NBA champion. And as for free agent signings, well, there was when Bob Myers signed and kept Gary Payton II. None of his teammates even believed he would be a helpful piece and preferred to have Avery Bradley. But once again, Myers made the right move. There is also other guys Myers picked up who were very helpful, such as Otto Porter Jr., getting Andre Iguodala again, which was very helpful when it comes to mentors, and even Nemanja Bjelica. So yeah, Bob Myers knew exactly what he was doing in the offseason and during the season. Finishing it off with the Warriors signing Steve Kerr back in 2014. To give you guys some context, the Warriors were finally starting to win some games and they seemed like they had the right set of men. They would play well during the regular season, but the playoffs is a different story. After being eliminated in the playoffs for 2 consecutive seasons, the Warriors decided it was time to hire a new coach. At the time, the head coach for the Golden State Warriors was Mark Jackson. He wasn't the worst coach in the world, but always seemed to have come up short on making a far playoff push. The reason why he got fired wasn't very clear, but according to The Guardian, it appeared to be quote-unquote a combination of personality and philosophical clashes, as well as the Warriors' belief Jackson had taken the team as far as he could. So Myers thought about finding someone new. And who did he pick up? A former guard who played in Chicago with Michael Jordan, who then went on to become a general manager for 3 seasons with the Phoenix Suns, and then become a broadcaster for the NBA on TNT, also known as Steve Kerr. At the time, Stephen A. Smith thought the Warriors were crazy for doing this. This was because Kerr had no experience being a coach, and the Warriors threw a bag at him for 5 seasons. As usual, we all thought Myers messed up, but he didn't. Instead, Kerr went on to become one of the best coaches in the NBA today. His motivation and style of play have contributed so much to the Warriors winning games. And on that note, I hope you all have learned something today. I hope you learned that Bob Myers is a genius and deserves more recognition for all the work he's done for the Warriors. Congratulations to the Golden State Warriors for winning yet another NBA championship, and none of this would have been possible without the man himself, Bob Myers.